It is so good to see you guys. I'm so excited that I keep having the same friends keep coming back and new friends joining each time. It's so much fun. So for this one, you guys, we are gonna need some room. And so get up, we're gonna do the craft after I do my music and movement. So go ahead and make sure you've got some room. And there is a part in this dance that does involve a partner, but like you guys have seen me all week long, when I don't have a partner, I just do it by myself. So make sure you've got some space and some room. And hold on, and then, sorry. Okay. You guys know me. You're always so patient with me. Okay. Now I'm going to share this. Here we go.
Come on, move and freeze.
Freeze.
Come on, move and freeze. Come on, move and freeze. Come on, move and freeze. Put your right hand on your left knee, your left hand on your right. Your knees move in and out, your hands stay tight. Now keep on with your moving, but switch hands on your knees. Keep on moving in and out till we say freeze. Come on, move.
Ready?
And freeze. Come on, move and freeze. Come on, move and freeze. Come on, move and freeze. Put one hand across your shoulder, one hand across your back. Now jump in place. Do you like it like that?
Yeah!
Now switch hands across your shoulders and switch hands across your back. Now just be nimble, just be quick, just like Jack. Come on, jump and freeze.
Thank goodness.
Come on, jump and freeze. Come on, jump and freeze. Come on, jump and freeze. Everybody shake your body from your head down to your feet. And don't stop shaking until we stop the beat. Shake it to the east and shake it to the west. Shake it, shake it, shake it with my friends who are the best. Come on, shake and freeze. 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 Put your right hand on your head, your left on someone's knee. Now turn once in a circle and buzz like a bee. Now turn the other way, don't let go or lose your spot. Keep turning left, keep turning right, until the music stops. Come on, turn and freeze. 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 All right, you can move now. Riddle time.
Yay! Okay. Whose body is tired? Whew. Mine is. Whew. Get your water. That wore me out. You guys remember, I'm old. Jumping up and down really wears me out. And now we're gonna do a regulation because my heart is still boom, 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 boom. So let's do a regulation because we need to get really calm hearts and bodies to listen to instructions for Miss Eric. So let's do our tree pose. Remember this? You put your hand, you can lean Or you can do it lower to the ground, if that's easier. And when I breathe in, I'm gonna go straight up. And when I go up with my hands, I'm breathing in. And then when I go out, I'm breathing out. We're gonna do it 5 times. Are you guys ready? Okay, breathe in. And breathe out. When you breathe out, I want you guys to make a sound like you're a wind in a forest blowing over the trees. Ready? Breathe in. And blow over the trees. We're gonna do 3 more. Breathe in. One more, right? Okay, one more. Breathe in. Awesome. All right. I know so many of you guys have prepared a space with your crafts. So sit down in your space, get ready. And now I'm going to turn the show over to my friend, Mr. Eric.
Awesome. Thank you. So we're going to make some kind of collages or little mosaics out of paper. So I went ahead and started one to show you guys. And now mine's really complicated. And I'm going to show you something a little easier because, of course, I have to make it complicated. So you guys see how there's a bunch of little tiny paper squares that I've kind of put together in a pattern? You can do whatever you want. You can do flowers, which is what I did. You can do an animal. You can do just a bunch of random patterns. You can do whatever you want. This is just kind of whatever you guys want to do. So if you want to do something kind of complicated like a flower, you can sketch it out very lightly. That way you have a kind of something to follow on. Or you can just sit and do whatever you need to do. So I'm going to move my camera down and I'll show you kind of what I did to get started. Maybe. Oh. Close enough. So I made a bunch of little tiny papers into little squares. If you want to do something a little bigger, you can make bigger squares. Or you can shred them. You can do triangles. You can do whatever shape you want. And I just got some scissors. I used a glue stick because it's a little easier. Because especially for all these little tiny ones that I did, you can kind of just get it stuck on your finger as you wiggle it around. And then you're able to press it down a lot easier. Like that. And so what you can do is you can either layer it like what I did. So I have a whole bunch of them layered on top of each other. So if you can kind of see on the side, it sticks out from the paper. Or you can do big squares and do that. And then you can have a space. Let's see, kind of like this, as you can make your design just by doing like a square and then a space and then a space, another square. You can do stuff like that, so it's more of like a pattern. But what I did was I found a whole bunch of different colors, so that way when I start gluing them all together, it kind of does a cool little color blend thing, which is why like all the light colors and then the dark colors. And then what I'm probably going to do at the very end is take a marker and outline it. So that way you can really see, because up here it looks a little jumbled up, but yeah. So what you can do is, I know Minecraft's a really popular thing, and a lot of those are what we call pixels. So you can make, if you do little squares, like mine aren't perfect squares because I just cut a bunch of different shapes out. But with those, you can easily get them all together and you can kind of make your favorite Minecraft characters, or you can make people, you can make trees, you can make really whatever you want. So let's see here. I'm seeing a bunch of people get hard to work. Oh, it's a good idea having paper plates there too. I like how you guys are cutting your squares out of that. That's a great idea. Wow, everybody's getting hard to work. Awesome. And yep, you can put your glue on the paper first and then stick all your squares on too. That makes it a lot easier as well. If you have a bunch of really tiny pieces like what I have here, and you don't want to get your fingers all dirty, you can use tweezers or you can get a toothpick, and you can gently move your squares around on the paper with a toothpick too, because sometimes they get a little sticky. Let's see here. I'm gonna try and show you all what I was doing. So I've been starting on the outside of where I've traced out, because especially down here where it gets a little complicated. And then once I get my border on, I go in and I fill it in with more of the same kind of color. So I have the light green here for the leaves. And then I'm doing a really dark green here for like the stem of the flower. So that way you can kind of tell what's different. And with how I'm doing it, since it's layered, the ones that are down here that I've already put on, I'm doing a top layer on, so that way you can see the colors behind, and then you can see the darker colors up on the top. So, looks like everybody's being super creative. Good job, guys. So does everybody know what they're gonna make? I'm seeing a bunch of cool patterns and colors. You guys are getting creative with where you're getting your paper squares from. And then what you can do is once you're done with the main pattern, so what I'm gonna do is to color in all this white space here. I really don't want to sit and do a bunch of small pieces of paper because then I think it's gonna look a little too cluttered. So I'm gonna take watercolor pencils and I'm gonna color in all this white space here and then use the brush and make it where it makes it look all watercolored. So that way the flower stands out and it's not just flat. But you guys can do whatever you want to make it look your way. And one thing I was doing to make really quick, easy squares is I cut out strips of paper, like really long strips, and then I layered a bunch of strips together like this, so that way there's multiple ones. And then I started cutting out little squares, so that way I'm cutting out more than just one at a time, which is also why mine are kind of random sized, because I didn't sit and measure it, but that's okay. I kind of like the really random jumbled up pattern that I got going on. Awesome job, guys. Oh yeah, Miss Megan says she likes it kind of uneven. Things don't have to be perfectly even. And so with mine, at first I was gonna do the squares all nice and even, but I realized that doing a pattern like this, that wouldn't work. So with the curves, all those uneven pieces make it really easy to sit and kind of make it to where the curves work out really well. Wow, I can't wait to see what everybody's looks like when they're all done. And another thing you can do with this is if you have something outside like a pot, you can take a planter pot and you can take this stuff called Mod Podge and you can put the Mod Podge on paper and you can make really cool pots for your plants by putting a bunch of little papers all over it and then putting that the coating of the Mod Podge over it so that way it seals it. So that way if you have like a really pretty flower that you want to highlight, you can have a really cool plant or planter pot to go along with it.